Hey guys, what's up? Kai here again, and we're nearing the end of this very basic JavaScript series. And I'm really excited, honestly. I'm excited to see you guys here that you're pushing through, you're sticking to your everyday lesson, you're writing code, you're getting really good at this, man. And I'm really excited to share this stuff with you guys. So let's get right into today's lesson. Today is we're gonna go over something called functions. And what functions are is a way for you to like package up code that you want to execute. Let me show you. It's just easier if I show you. For example, let's say you have this problem. Let's say you want to have an app, very simple app that would say hi to your friends. For example, John comes into your house. How would you do that? You're probably again tired of seeing this, but it's just you need to really get good at the basics so you can move on to more advanced stuff. You would actually go ahead and say hello John, right? And then whenever John comes in your house, you would go like, oh John, come check this out. I actually have this super awesome code that outputs your name. It says hi to you. That's super cool, right? But then if somebody else comes in and for example Andy comes in, how would you modify this? You would come here and then you go again like, oh wait, hold on, let me write Andy, save it, and then output it. Yeah, I mean that's fine and all, but you can actually do something cooler, and you can actually use something called a function. And of course, again, as you have seen, we have keywords. In this case, it would be the function keyword. Then you would actually give it a name. Functions take a name. You name a function, and not all the time, but for now, let's just say that functions have a name. There's something called anonymous functions and lambda expressions that don't really take a name. They don't really have a name, but that's out of the scope of this. For now, just know that any function that you declare like this, the way that I'm about to show you, they need a name. So function, let's call this say hello, and then you open and close parentheses, you open and close your body as usual, and here we can say hello to John. John, hello. John. And now the way you execute this will be just to actually use the name of the function, say hello, open and close parentheses, and that's the way you actually tell JavaScript, okay JavaScript, here I'm creating the function, say hello. This is what I want you to do whenever I call this function. Here we're actually calling the function. That's the term used. You call a function or you execute a function, and the way you do that is you give it the name, you open and close parentheses, and then your semicolon, and you execute it. Boom, hello John again. So you're like, okay Kai, that's awesome and all, but it doesn't really change from what we had before. And that is true. That is where parameters come in. So let's go over the syntax a little again. Function, it's the keyword. It's a reserved keyword that you're telling JavaScript that you're creating a function. Then here you have the name of the function, and this is whatever you want it to be. There's not a keyword. This is whatever you want to name the function. You open and you close your parentheses, then you open and you close your curly braces, and in between the curly braces, as we have seen before, in the curly braces, in between the curly braces, you put the code you want to execute. But there's something here in between the parentheses that you can have. These are called parameters. And here, the parameters are sort of like things, inputs that you can give a function to work with that data. So we can have something called, for example, name in between the parentheses, and this is the name parameter. So every time you call name, name is every time you call, you execute, say hello, the function is expecting one parameter, which in this case is the name. So then we can actually come here and we can rewrite our code to console log hello plus, actually put this here, space, plus the parameter plus the exclamation. And now every time we call this, we can give it the name that we want to output in the console. So if we run this, boom, hello John. Now say that you want to say hi to Andy. Andy comes in, boom, you execute your function and you don't have to rewrite the code again, the console log. See, so that's the power of functions. And functions, you can have as many lines of code that you want to execute here in the body. It's not limited to just one. I'm just showing you a really basic example, but that's the power of a function. For example, let's say that you want to create an app, a simple addition calculator. Let's make a function for that, because in the world before, you know, in our previous tutorials, we've seen that you can easily add 5 plus 5 right here and execute it, and that's 10. But it's not reusable, and that's where functions come in. Functions are a way for you to package up code and just reuse it across your app. If you wanted to add 2 numbers, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 10 all across your app, and you had to write console log 5 plus 5 explicitly, you're gonna run into bugs. You're gonna mess up in one of those times that you're writing that specific line of code. So we can actually create a function. Let's call it add, and let's make it take 2 parameters. One would be the first number and the other would be the second number, of course. And you separate this parameter with a comma. Then in here we can actually go ahead and execute that code that we want to reuse. num1 plus num2. So now that we have this, we could just do as many additions as we want. We can add 1 and then 1, or we can reuse this, and for example we want to add 5 plus 5, or 100 plus 1,000. And if we execute this code, boom, we get all of our calculations. Of course, the first one results in 2, second one's 10, third one is 1,100. So this is the power, guys, of functions. That's you know, that's the way you use it. That's the way you use functions to package up code and just reuse it all across your app. Again, this is really basic example. We just have one file here, our app.js, and we're just reusing that same function. But you can export this. You can use this function across different files, across all your application. That's the beauty of functions. Now, before we finish this video, I want to challenge you guys. I haven't challenged you guys in this series. So I want you guys to actually create a function that takes in a word and it outputs the length of that word. How would you guys do that? You have the resources. If you've seen every single video up to now, you guys are able to do it. I know it. Now I'm going to pause. Well, you should pause the video right here. Try to solve the challenge. And if you can, don't worry, I'll give you the solution. I'll give you my solution, because there's many ways to do it, but I'll give you my solution. All right, guys, pause the video. All right, guys, did you figure it out? If you did not figure it out, don't worry. I'm here to help you. So let's start with the basics. We want to create a function. Use the keyword function for that. Then we give it a name. In my case, I'm going to call it log the length. Now here remember, we wanted to take one parameter, which is the word that we want to know the length for. So let's call it word. And the solution is actually very simple, guys. Maybe you were breaking your head, maybe not, maybe you figured it out. It's really simple, guys. Remember that arrays had a property called length. Well, it turns out that strings have it too, and that's because strings are also at the end of the day, they inherit from the object, from the global object in JavaScript. And don't worry, that may sound confusing at first, but just know that just like arrays are objects, strings also have properties, one of those being the length. So if we go ahead and we actually console log just word that length, and then we call our function log length, and we pass it in a word, for example, hello. Let's execute that. Boom, you get 5. And of course, because there's 5 characters in the word hello, we can reuse this and copy paste it. And for example, now you want to know how many what's the length of your name. In my case, it would be 8. Now, why 8? Remember, it's not counting just the letters, it's counting every single character inside this string. So if we counted just the letters, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But there's a space in here. That also takes, space. That's data at the end of the day. That's bytes. So it's counting everything in here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why it's 8. Now, we could even, beef up our function. We could do something like the length of whatever word you're passing in is and then if we run it, boom, the length of, oops, I forgot space right there in between. Let's run it now. There you go. The length of hello is 5. The length of your name is 8, or whatever length your name is. However, there is a bug in this code, and I'm gonna show you the first bug that you wrote. What if, let's comment this out. What if we use our function, but we pass it in null? What do you guys think is gonna happen? Think about that for a second. We are trying to access the length of something that is null. We get something really nasty, which is called an exception. Now, the problem with this is, look, cannot read property length of null. Null is not a string. Null is null. Remember, we saw that concept of null before, and I believe it was the very first lesson in data types. Null is nothingness, it's empty. So null does not have a property on it called length. And here our function is trying to access length of null. So JavaScript is blowing up and saying, whoops, can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I can access something that doesn't exist. So that's why it's giving you a problem. And if we leave our code as is, we have a huge problem, because anybody can come in and just, as you can see, it's not only just null, we can pass in something else. We could pass in a Boolean value, and let's see what happens with that. If we run that, it's undefined. Null gave us an error. True is undefined, because again, it doesn't matter. Length does not exist in true. Now, true is not undefined. True is an actual value. It's just saying that there's nothing inside true, that it's called length, but this is an actual value, it's not known. That's why it's not giving us an issue. So we can actually beef up our function even more by using the power of an if statement. If, and we haven't seen this before, but the type of it's another keyword in which you want to check the type of the parameter that it's coming in, and this is just a problem in JavaScript, because again, JavaScript nature is being a loosely typed language, dynamic language. So we're not specifying here that we just want strings. You would actually have to manually check inside your function if you're getting a string. So if we check for the type of word, which is the parameter that it's coming in, if this is equal to string, only then we want to execute this code. And maybe we can even make it a little bit more dynamic and be else. If it's not a string, if it's anything else, we can actually do console.log and use that operator again, type of word plus space is not a string. That way they would know whatever it's coming in, that is not a string. So if we execute this code, see, it's telling you boolean is not a string. So that's why you can use this code. Now if we do something like 100, for example, a number, boom, number is not a string. So it's not failing, it's not giving us that exception anymore. Let's try with no, which is the one that created the exception before. See, no is an object at the end of the day. So the type of no is object. It's not a string, but it's no is one of those things that are weird in JavaScript. Even though it's an object, it's nothingness. It represents nothing. That's why it was giving us an issue before. We're trying to access length of no. But now happy path is whoever's using this is giving us a string. Hey there, you are an awesome developer. If we run this, boom, the length of hey there, you're an awesome developer is 39. There's 39 characters in this string, and you guys really are awesome developers. You gotta think like that. You gotta really think that you can do this, guys. All right, guys, see you in the next lesson.